Hello friends, today we will discuss heat conduction through a plane wall. We will derive one equation based on the general heat conduction equation in the Cartesian coordinates. Myself PS Agule from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology, Yadrao. So if I consider a plane wall of homogeneous material, homogeneous means the thermal conductivity is the same throughout each direction of the coordinates, and heat is flowing in only x direction. So we have considered here single direction or unidirectional heat flow. So let's say here is the direction for Q, and if L is the thickness of this plane wall, this is the wall, and L is the thickness of plane wall, and A is the cross sectional area. Remember what area we have to take? The area perpendicular to the direction of heat. So this is the heat direction, and this A, this surface area only I have to take as a cross sectional area along the x direction. Now say K is equal to thermal conductivity of this wall, and T1 and T2 are the surface temperatures which satisfy the condition T1 should be greater than T2. Heat flows from higher energy to the lower energy, and since I have mentioned here heat flow direction, so the T1 should be greater than T2. Now as we know, general heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinates, dou square T upon dou x square plus dou square T upon dou y square plus dou square T upon dou z square plus E dot upon K is equal to 1 upon alpha into dou T upon dou tau. Here alpha is the thermal diffusivity, E dot is the internal heat generation per unit volume, K is the thermal conductivity, X, Y, Z are the directions, and small t is the temperature. Now if we consider heat conduction takes place at a steady state, what does it mean steady state? The temperature doesn't change with respect to time. That is the meaning of steady state. That means dou t upon dou tau is equal to 0. Next condition, one dimensional. As I mentioned, heat flows in only x direction. That's why the other terms, means this direction, y direction, z direction, you can consider it as 0. And third one, if I say there is no internal heat generation, so that E dot K, this is the E dot is the internal heat generation per unit volume. So if I say there is no internal heat generation, that ultimately means E dot upon K is equal to 0. Now if I put all these three conditions inside of this general heat conduction equation, I will get dou square T upon dou x square is equal to 0. Now this is the equation which I have to use. Now integrate the above equation twice. So after integrating first time, I will get the equation dou T upon dou x is equal to C1. And if I integrate the same equation second time, then I will get T is equal to C1x, C1 is the arbitrarily constant, right, plus C2. Now if I say this T is equal to C1x plus C2 is equation number 1. Now let's remind our diagram. In this, Q is the direction of flow in x direction, T1 is greater than T2. So the boundary conditions, remember the boundary conditions. Boundary means these are the surfaces. This one is the first surface and this one is the second surface along the x direction. So I have to take the boundary condition of these two surfaces. So for the first surface, when x is equal to 0, say here this is the x direction, when x is equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0, temperature is of T1, right? and at x is equal to L, when x is equal to L at this phase, then temperature is equal to T2. Okay, now we need to take these two boundary conditions and put it in equation number 1. So by first boundary condition, T1 is equal to 0, since x is equal to 0, so this term will get 0, is equal to plus C2. That means T1 is equal to C2. Right, T1 is equal to C2. By second boundary conditions, if I put this second boundary condition in equation number 1, where x is equal to L and t is equal to T2, if I put, then I will get T2, since I have to replace t by T2 and x by L. So T2 is equal to C1L plus C2. I will take C2 to the left hand side. C1L is equal to T2. So it will get C2 will get on the left side. So here it is the right side. T2 minus C2. But previously we have defined that C2 is equal to T1 by using the first boundary condition. So simply replace this one, C2 by T1. Now I can get the expression for C1, which is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by L. Now by having these two or this C1 is equal to, I am having one expression, and for C2 I am having one expression. If I put these two values of C1 and C2 in equation number 1, in that C1 I have to replace. So C1 is equal to T2 minus T1 upon L, I have taken over here, into x. So here it is the x, plus the value of C2 is equal to T1. So I will written here T1. If I rearrange the terms, so T1 will get on the left side. So T minus T1 divided by T2 minus T1 is equal to x divided by L. And it is nothing but the temperature distribution diagram or temperature distribution expression for a single plane wall. So what does it mean? It means if I want to find the temperature at this point, and suppose this is the distance at x from this one, this phase at x is equal to 0 I have taken. From 0 to this point, suppose the distance is of x, then the temperature will be T. Now in this expression, if we are having the boundary conditions, mean the surface temperatures T2 and T1, total length of slab L, and I need to find any intermediate temperature at a distance x from the first phase, then I can use this formula so that I will get the temperature T. Right. So this is the expression for temperature distribution. So let's take this equation. Now in this equation, if I want to know what is the temperature gradient, as you know, temperature gradient means dt upon dx. So simply put the value of T, which is this one, which we have derived, the temperature distribution equation. So if I put this, now T1 is not the function of x, so it will get cancelled, it is constant. Now the remaining terms are T2 minus T1 upon L. This dx, this is the constant, I will take to the outside, then dx upon dx, it is equal to 1. So this is the equation. So if I want to know the temperature gradient, I can use this formula, T2 minus T1 upon L. Now heat flow through the wall Q. Now as we know that according to Fourier's law, Q is equal to minus Ka dt upon dx, but just we have derived that dt upon dx, temperature gradient is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by L. So I will put this value. So expression becomes minus Ka T2 minus T1 divided by L. If I rewrite this equation by compensating this minus sign inside of this bracket, then my equation will be Ka T1 minus T2 divided by L. Or I can write this equation in this form, T1 minus T2 divided by L upon Ka, and we can compare this with T1 minus T2 upon thermal resistance for the conduction. For the plane wall conduction, I can define the resistance, where RTH is the thermal resistance to heat conduction. So that means RTH conduction is equal to L upon K. See here, right? If I equate these two equations, then this is nothing but the RTH. So RTH is equal to L upon Ka. So this is the previously drawn diagram of the slab having the temperature T1, T2, the direction of heat flow, and if I want to draw the electrical analogy for the same, I have to draw in this way. This is the Q direction. T1 is the temperature, first temperature, second phase temperature T2, and this is the resistance for the heat. So that resistance is nothing but L upon Ka. So let's solve one example so that you will get better idea about this. The inner surface of a plane wall is at 60 degrees Celsius and outer surface is at 35 degrees Celsius. Calculate the rate of heat transfer per meter square of surface area of the wall, which is 220 millimeter thick, and the internal conductivity of the brick is 0.51 watt per meter degree Celsius. Now what they have given? They have given the temperatures 60 degree and 35 degree. So T1 is equal to 60 degree, T2 is equal to 35 degree, and now we need to calculate Q when the length is of 220 millimeter and having the thermal conductivity 0.51 watt per meter degree Celsius. So this is the equation, Q is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by L upon Ka, which can be termed as T1 minus T2 divided by RTH conduction. Now how to represent this RTH? In this way, Q is the direction, T1 and T2 are the surface temperatures, and this one is the thermal resistance, which is L upon Ka. So I can write this equation in this form, K into bracket T1 minus T2 upon L, and A to the left side. Why I have taken A to the left side? Because here they have mentioned rate of heat transfer per meter square they need. That's why I have taken here A from the right side to the left side. Okay, now put the values. K is equal to 0.51, T1 is equal to 60, T2 is equal to 35, and L, which is in millimeter, we need to convert that into meter. So 220 millimeter will be equal to 0.22 meter. Now answer will be 57.95. Now tell me the unit of this one. Yes, it is. Q is in watt and A is in meter square. So my unit will be watt per meter square. Hope you understand up to this. Please write it down in your notebook so that you will get more confident about the derivation and expressing the conditions in your own words. Okay, thank you very much.